All right, so this is I believe we were on the outreach meeting today.
Yep.
Just a course of, we did change our time, which makes it much more difficult for people outside of the US. Would like to propose that we go ahead and push this back or move this back to 8:30, which would be the time it would be if we were in standard time. Does anybody have any concerns about making this an 8:30 call for the US?
So
Or at least
8:30,
Mountain Time.
I'm good.
Yeah,
What does 8:30 mean though? Is that mean an hour earlier or later than this one?
Yes, hour earlier.
Okay, sure.
back
Thanks.
so in the States, this is our last time change for us in the fall, and then in the spring we'll do our change to I don't know if it's standard time finally, and we're going to stay like that forever, hopefully.
Yeah, you optimist, Steve.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll change it back to 8:30, and then when we do our last change, we'll change it again. But we're trying to keep it the same time for everybody, especially in India. It gets pretty late, so.
It's
Okay,
fine. It's
So that
like
would
around
be what,
10 p.m.
15:30 your time, Jing.
Yeah, we are okay. I think this is our winter time now. So the next one will be springtime. So that's gonna stay here for at least 6 months, I guess.
So, and Arvin, you said you guys are, what time is it in India right now? 9
It's
o'clock?
10 p.m. 10 p.m.
And yeah, so do you think it would be better for us to move it back to where it's 9 p.m. for you?
No, it's
Or does
work
it?
for me.
Okay,
Because from India, I am the only one, and the outskirts is in UK. So I am work. It's fine with both the time for me.
okay, so
Not
we
an
just
issue
have to
from my side.
check with Sasha, and I think Sergio had indicated before that this time was hard, and it is for Sasha too. So I'll send an email to Sergio and Sasha to find out if they want us to push it back to the time we had it before. So I'll keep it for now. I'll keep it like it is because I've already messed with the calendars enough. I'll keep it like it is, and if Sasha or Sergio indicates an issue, we'll address it then. So I think the top thing on the list, Tony, you want to talk about our presentation at Open Group? We did do a presentation at Open Group last week, which Tony got us into.
Sure.
Want to chat?
So Open Group had a focus for their fall or autumn meeting this year on supply chain security. Now that touches a lot more than what we touch, but it gave us the opportunity to do a presentation on software supply chain security and Ortelius. And then we had people in the room. One of the more notable ones was NASA, Seagate, the storage manufacturer, several others. But we also ended up with IBM was there. We ended up being invited to sit on a panel discussion immediately following the talk, and I think we, and mostly Tracy, got virtually all the questions. So that went real well. Tracy, did you get a chance to do some more networking after I had to head to the airport?
I did with the one guy from NASA. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name right now. But I didn't with the person that you were sitting next to when I first came in.
Oh, Joanne.
They must have left early.
Well, Joanne is on her retirement glide slope, so
yeah,
may not be as much. Al is probably more useful.
Yeah, so I did reach out to him, and I got his card, and I sent him a message on LinkedIn with my calendar and asked if we could do a chat.
Good deal. That would be good for us.
Yeah. Yeah, it was overall, it was a really interesting show. I was actually surprised. I really liked it. They had different tracks, and I snuck over and watched a couple of the tracks around data management, which is not my expertise. So I took an opportunity to try to learn some of the challenges. And I found it interesting that there were several tools there to try to help basically data management software that allows you to pull code in or data in and try to create reports and manipulate the information. There was one that I saw that was really interesting, and I went to their presentation, and it was AWS built a system for the oil and gas industry, which of course in New Mexico, it's always a big industry. And they talked about the problem, and this is going to sound exactly like supply chain and Ortelius. They talked about one of the problems with the oil and gas industry is that all of the data that they collect is based on one oil well at a time. So they never get higher level aggregated data about oil and about things like, is this state more efficient with oil? Do they have less problems? Do they have less security or less oil issues? Do they have less gas evaporation? So what they did was they provided this aggregated look at the data, and I'm not kidding you, except for the picture of the United States, if that changed to somebody's Kubernetes cluster environment and each oil well was a single microservice or component, what we're doing is very similar. Now, they had some really cool graphs, and what they did from a front-end perspective was make sure that all of the data for a particular domain, like the domain of Texas or the domain of one county in Texas, that you could select that and show that high-level information right off the bat. ThoughtWorks was there as well. ThoughtWorks is a pretty big consulting organization, and they are really focused on data, and they talked a lot in their areas about data around security and software security and cybersecurity. So it was a good conference. Thank you, Tony, for encouraging me to go. And they have another one in Edinburgh in April. Is that it? Was that right, Tony?
Yeah, they typically do first half of the year in UK or Europe and second half of the year in North America. And 25th, I think, of April, that week is Edinburgh. So I'm certainly going to go. And
I'm leaning heavily to go.
We just really like Scotland. And then the CEO, Steve Nunn, told me he expects they'll be back in Houston next October. So if we have something we can present on, awesome.
I think we should go ahead and do that. I think a trip I wanted to go to Edinburgh, so it would be fun. I don't know what the weather's like at the end of April. It's probably still cold, but that's okay.
Jean can explain, but essentially what?
It's cold wet.
Yeah, in Scotland, it's cold and wet, except for I think the last week of July.
Yeah. Or August. But even in those seasons, it can be rainy all the time as well. So you can never predict anything in Scotland.
So let's keep that on the back of our minds that maybe we'll do a.
I'll let you know when the call for presentations come out.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would be interesting. Like I say, I really enjoyed the people there. I enjoyed the people in the breakout that we had, and some of the people that I met that were outside of the supply chain track and in the data management track. I just learned a lot about how they're seeing data and how they understand that data is essential for anything that we're going to be doing around AI. And part of what the oil and gas industry had asked AWS to do was to start pulling together the data so that they could start creating models around the data to determine what well may have an issue. Is there a particular problem with a particular area because they have not the maintenance isn't trained as well. They had several kinds of use cases like that they were talking about, but in essence, it was the same thing as we're experiencing in the cybersecurity world, not having the data centralized. Yeah,
I have an idea.
yeah.
Based on the data we have, can we make a model or like a bot which can like solve the error that is related to that data? So if someone got that error and if we have that collection, then he will guide us or he will guide that person.
So I think that, yeah, Steve has been working on some of those kinds of use cases. You might find in the architecture call, that's probably maybe a focus. Steve, you want to say something about that?
That is the plan. What we need to do is actually get the data collected and stored somewhere. So right now we know the data is out there, but we're not storing it. And there's some other projects that are out there that we may be able to point to and not have to like kind of like duplicate the data on our side. So for example, Guac has the ability to bring data in, but I don't know. I think they're going to be at the same level where they have the capability to do it, but they haven't built out a database yet. So that is one of the things that we need to hunt down, and the plan would be to start doing the ML training and some of the generative AI around that. Now last week I had an interesting discussion with Alex from the Emporis project, and he's made some really good success around being able to basically query the universal object store, which is Emporis, to take that data and kind of what's needed for the AI world, ML, is to vectorize it. And he's had some good luck on that front. So we kind of are attacking it from both directions. So we just got to get the pieces pulled together and make it all happen.
So the short answer, Arvin, is yes, and more to come on the architecture calls. We have about 1 month. We are 1 month away from our holiday gathering. So I think there are some of you, Utkarsh in particular, Arvin as well. You're really close to becoming a gold legend. So I just want to let you know that. I'd have to, if you're interested in what you have to do to get there, reach out to me and I will look through your numbers and figure it out. But I just know that both of you were pretty close. We also need lightning talks. Garima Bajpai is going to do a lightning talk for us. She is on our technology oversight committee. She recently published a book on DevOps practices, and so she's going to pick one of her topics from her book and do a lightning talk on it. On that note as well, the DevOps Summit Canada is happening November 16th and 17th. That is the program that Garima is the founder, and she puts together every year. She's done it for several years now. It is free. There is an upgrade that you have to buy for all of the sessions, but most of the sessions are free. So I will put the link in here where Steve is just typing. There we go. That's the link to register. Steve, I don't know why we can't hear you.
He's
Oh, is the DevOps Summit the same thing as DevOps World, or is that?
No. DevOps Summit Canada is done every year by a consulting company called Carbon Consulting.
Okay.
Garima works for Carbon Consulting, and she helped put this originally together, but it has nothing to do with CloudBees.
Okay, because I think they're having the CDCon in Seattle this year.
CDCon will be in Seattle this year, but it's not this year, but next year. So June of next year.
Okay.
And if you're interested in getting involved in the program committee, I believe if you look on, I think I posted it out on Ortelius to let everybody know that you can do that. Let me see if I can find it.
I got the link right here.
Okay, why don't you put that in the notes? So if anybody's interested in being involved in the CD Foundation's CDCon project program committee. You can apply to it, and they select like I think a dozen people to work on building out the sessions and the program. So on the topic of our holiday party, if you're interested in doing a talk, please let me know. I need to get them all done and recorded by, I'd say just after, if we can get it done by, let me look at the calendar. December the 4th, they can be in my hands by the 4th or 5th of December. That gives me time to produce them with our intro and closing pieces and get them ready to be posted on Twitch. They only need to be 10 minutes, and any topic is great. Obviously, a topic around supply chain security, around Ortelius, any features of Ortelius you want to highlight. You could do anything around things like S-bombs. And I think I'm going to reach out to Michael Lieberman with Guac, and I think I'll reach out to Ian, and I can't think of his last name right now, with a new tool called S-bomb it, to see if they'd be willing to do a 10-minute lightning talk for us as well. So get your name in the hat to do a lightning talk, and keep in mind that those lightning talks are posted for 6 months. So they get pushed out socially for 6 months. And you can use those lightning talks as part of your resume for speaking at other things like CDCon or KubeCon or anywhere else that you might want to challenge yourself to get accepted to. So I highly encourage you to do it. And I think Utkarsh just needed one more presentation, because I think he's already achieved everything he needed to achieve to be a legend at the for the champion level, as opposed to the ambassadors.
I will ask you my stat later.
Okay, I'll look it up and see if I can figure it out, Arvin, and send it to you.
Also, can we like invite one lightning talk from the Guag team and the Fidelity one?
Yes,
So that would
we
be
could.
awesome. Like,
Yeah, I was going to reach out to Michael Lieberman, who's the kind of the lead of the Guac, to see if he'd be willing to do it. I'll do that today.
and I'm going to be working on setting up open telemetry with the SEC frontend microservice. If that's got well, I will record a video on that. Otherwise, I will ask you a topic later.
Okay, yep, no problem. Happy to help any way I can.
Yes.
And that is what I have for our heading into our holiday season. I think that the last show is KubeCon is obviously coming up, and actually can't remember who, but somebody had pitched to do a review of what's new at KubeCon for us as a lightning talk, and I told them that would be fine, because I'm not going to go to KubeCon. It's too busy, and many of you can't afford to get yourself into the US and then pay to go to KubeCon. So we'll get a summary of what happened at KubeCon and anything new that's being announced as part of the holiday party.
And next year, KubeCon will be happening in India. So will you come?
Really?
Yes.
Probably not. It'll be really big in India, and it's already too big for me now. But I'm hoping that you'll be able to go, Arvin.
If I will go, I will present Ortelius.
Good. Maybe we can get you to submit a talk about Ortelius for the KubeCon in India. Maybe we do a panel and bring, you, Utkarsh, and Siddharth would be an interesting panel on supply chain security, right?
Yes. Also, Steve, I just got to know that the Red Hat sandbox will be provided for the 30 days. So we can use it for 30 days. After that, we can renew it. So I think if we convert our Ortelius in a box to Red Hat one, then we can get a development environment for 1 month. After that, we will deploy it again.
Okay.
I will share the link.
Yeah, and we need to find out from Sasha where he's at with the Pulumi piece as well. Because I know Kat ran into some issues that she was working through, and I think we have Kat found that their Palumi wasn't supporting any local cluster stuff. So we may have to delay it a little bit, Arvin, but we'll definitely get it figured out.
Yeah, I posted the link
Yep,
in
I
the
got
chat.
it. Cool.
All right, I think that is it. Unless I have forgotten anything. Anybody have anything else to chat about? All right, get those lightning talks into me, and let's have a great holiday party, and register for the free portion of DevOps Summit Canada. I did submit a talk there, so I will be speaking. I believe I recorded it back in September. I don't even remember what the topic was, but I'll be there.
All right.
All right, thank you
Take
all.
care, all.
See ya.
Bye.